Yo, yo, yo. What's up, Lecter? What's up, Fox? How are you guys? Chilling? What do we have here today? Absolutely nothing. What's up, Balaji? How you doing, brother? How you doing, brother? We failed to take out the range low, range high. Living the dream, baby. Living the dream. How was everybody's trading this morning? Good, I hope. And I do apologize for some of the audio quality, honestly. I got the mic at home. I'm not home yet. Living the dream. But yeah, failed to take out range low, range high, so we're just kind of consolidating here. PM sessions have been really, 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 really slow. have been super duper slow. Same thing on ES. GC skipped the AM session with all the news and the Fed share stuff back at it now. Finishing the day with green. Hell yeah, that's awesome. Same, actually, I managed to actually catch some shorts, actually. Funny enough. I know you're thinking, what? Shorts? What? How does that make sense? Yeah, managed to get some shorts. And longs, actually. I played both sides. Rotad, baby. Rotad. Played the OB down here. I mean, to be honest with you, after failing to really close below the 6-9 level here, I was like, this has the potential to be an order block. We shoved out this low. ES, divergence with ES, closure above this candle's high, potential to be an order block, but I was in with such small size. So actually in a swing ES short 2, hell yeah. I think I said this at the beginning of the month. I said this during like the first, I swear, if you go back and watch during the first week of July, and I was like, I truly believe that we're going to consolidate up until the last few days of the, whoops, what the hell? Up until the last few days of July. So I think right around here is when we'll start seeing a distribution to the downside. So I wouldn't, it's going to do a whole lot of this and then that. That's what I think. Consolidate, come back to the highs, maybe sweep out a high, 608s, get back above 30,000s because it likes, right now, if you were to plot the 30,000 line, it's no coincidence that it's basically built a range around the 30,000 range. It's just such a huge psychological level. And it's also near equilibrium. So I would not be shocked if this is what we get. What's up, Slim Trady? Dude, I have not seen you. Am I tripping, or have I just like not seen you recently? Am I tripping? I've been here. Damn, I guess we just haven't talked. Maybe it just felt like a minute because I didn't stream last Friday. Haven't been as active. How has everybody's trading been? How have you guys been doing with this range? I'm curious to hear your thoughts. How is everybody doing with the range? But I'm lurking in the shadows. That's good. I'm expecting 33,500 from here. What's your daily view? I think we can go lower. I honestly think we go lower. That is my honest view. I think we go lower. Should have stayed on the holiday. The whole week red. Minor damage, but still sucks. Struggling this month, down 120 on the month. I trade micros on a live account. Down 120 on the month. Oh, dude. Doing well when I don't overtrade, still banging my head against the wall sometimes. I felt that, honestly. Yeah. What are you doing? What are you actively doing to improve that though? Like, what are you guys actively doing to fight what the issues are? Just out of curiosity. Creating harder rules for myself around entries. I've been pretty squishy with them. I've taken a step back from prop trading. I've been in a bad place in my personal life and it affected my trading. That is smart, brother. Good stuff. I can't tell you how many times shit wasn't going right and like just in life, and I still pushed it. I was still pushing it. Cannot tell you how many times. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Bro, I'm partially out as I see the trade going to stop loss, saved me a lot of money. Really? Also set a new stop loss system for myself that widens my stop and doesn't let my greed make the decisions. Why do you think the greed was making the decisions? Was it because you were oversized? Is that why? Also, 4.4K subs. Isn't that cool? 4 motherfucking K. Next up 5K, then 10K, then 50K. That is the goal. Yeah, oversized and looking for big wins. That's fair. Honestly, I feel like a lot of people underestimate how frequent, like you'll have really, really big months and then try to survive a few of the other months. I think people kind of mistake that consistency is like a year-round thing. I don't think I can name you a single trader that is consistent every single month for a year straight. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, not currently looking for anything at this moment. Unfortunately, this price action is just absolute garbage. But I'd be happy to walk you guys through something like backtesting. I'd be happy to go through a backtesting session. That way we don't both sit here and waste our times. That's something that I'd be happy to do, actually. If you guys would be interested in that. Because the truth of the matter is that like I get that people like to watch. I get that like live trading is obviously what we're here for, but whenever I see the opportunity to actually give a little bit more value when it comes to actually learning stuff, I think that it's important to take that step because right now there's just absolutely nothing for me to do. Also, have you guys looked at the 4-hour chart? Like this thing looks disgusting. What's up, Dirt Road Falcons? So I mean, I would be happy to kind of watch let's get some backtesting right now. Okay, sweet. Yeah, if you guys are about it, then for sure. If I'm lying, I'm flying economy. So let me switch over. my screen share, trade tele back testing, share. And then obviously I'm going to ask you guys for your input, of course. Okay, so here are the different models. We're just going to, I think, continue this one. So this one's more time-based, just using a time-based range. So I'm looking for either the sweep at the high or the low, a 15-minute swing, and then a continuation in the direction. So I have backtested this before. I have around 300 trades on this specific model. And I do use it on a daily basis. Pretty much this is the range that I have active on the what's it called? Production. Can we possibly change the title, like on the overlay itself, to the thelab.live backtesting with Alex, please? Thank you, sir. Thank you. I just trade from typically just like 9 to 11. To be honest, that is the time window. So I have the 15-minute chart and then the 2-minute chart here on the left side. I just switch between the 1 and the 3, 1, 2, and 3. And then I basically look for a range sweep of the high or the low. And then once that is confirmed, you can see that in some cases, okay, there we go. So here we have a sweep of the range low. So now I'm looking for a potential 15-minute swing to form, and it did. So now we have a 15-minute swing. So at 9:45, I'd be looking to take this order block here into the highs. Now, obviously, I think we are at all-time highs, so I'm gonna have to use some range projections, and this is gonna be a rather large stop. But this is pretty much the simplicity of it, right? And so I come over here, I do 5, and then I do limits, drag down the limit to the order block opening price, close this out, and then we'll see if we get tagged in. What I'm not a huge fan of is oftentimes when the range high gets swept and I'm not in the position, that can lead to obviously this. Sorry, right there. So that's what I'm not a huge fan of. So I think we might actually get stopped out here. Let's see. Oh, wow. Saved by the bell, huh? Let's see if we get a continuation here. Beautiful. Failure to get above that high. I would have liked to go break even there, but it is what it is. How do you decide what range to get swept? It's mainly time, right? Like you can set a specific range to get swept, and then you base your backtesting off that. So this is obviously a rather longer position that I'm holding here. And so I think we might actually manage to we almost got stopped out there by like a tick. Let's see if the last few minutes here gets us that impulse into the highs. There we go. So beautiful stuff. It's a really simple model, right? Like I don't think it gets any more simpler than that. I like the gray box range. Is that a H1 candle? The gray box range. No, this is actually this is an overnight session. So you just do 5 to 9. That is the session. I didn't come up with this. This is a range that had already pre-existed. But yeah, I'm using 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. EST UTC -4. You said a TB just off the R ratio from that stop loss? No, I kind of measured it in my head, roughly from the order block. Because whenever we're at all-time highs, what I like to do is I like to base my targets off of deviations, or preferably also projections. So I tried my best to kind of imitate 2R. This was like more 1.8R, but the stop loss was at the order block low. And yeah, so really, really simple. If I had to kind of show you guys step by step, the first step is obviously the range, low or high being taken. The second one is a 15-minute swing confirmed. So you'd be entering C3. You'd be entering off a C3 on the 15-minute, and then the 1-minute closure above candle that pierced. Yeah, so we saw everything here, right? You guys can see that I didn't enter off of the C2. I actually entered off the C3, or it was more like a C4, but I waited for the sweep. So we got the sweep here, range low, right? 15-minute swing was created as soon as we failed to close below the previous candle's low. So now we have a 15-minute swing. And then you enter off of the high or the opening price of the candle that pierced below. I could have zoomed in for a better view, to be honest with you. In my opinion, the better entry would have been on the 1-minute here. This would have been the candle. You would have gotten a better risk to reward. But this is what this would have looked like. You would have entered off that opening price with the stop either at the low or the order block low, and then look for a continuation to the deviation highs. So yeah, let's move on. Start of the New York session here. Let me check and see if NQ is doing anything that we might like. Nope, nothing. Okay. Next trade. So as you can see, we've got the range plotted here. Got the 15-minute chart open here. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to let this play. Okay, so there's the range low. So now what I would need to see is a C3, preferably. Okay, so now we have a C3. So now if I zoom in a little bit, or now we have a C2 confirmed. If I zoom in a little bit, this is the candle that pierced. So I want to see if I can get a, what do you think about entering on a high time frame? Like when you see an M15 C2 close with an S2 just by the open after shooting through. I like that as well. I think it might be a little too impulsive though. Okay, so here we have a retest of the order block. So I'm going to look for an entry here. I'm going to go ahead and enter off 5 contracts. This is the same exact. I don't really like that we swept out the range. Oh no, we didn't sweep out the range high. So in this particular case, we actually have something to reference here. So same exact entry as previous. So I want to see if we can get a nice little continuation here to the upside. See if we get a push. And it looks like she might be looking for lower. Yes. Unfortunate, but it does happen. Would I be opposed to potentially seeking another upside C3? Nope, I would not. And I'd be looking for the same exact trade here. And why specifically is because my conviction is still high. We swept out a discount of this range. So I would still look to enter off of this trade here. And this is honestly something that I would do. So let's see if we get a nice little play here. And then I'm gonna look to target the range high. So you guys see exactly why I'm doing this, right? We've got the range low, we've got a 15-minute C3 here now. So now I wanna see if we can get a nice little impulse here into the highs. Wait, let me actually move this. There we go. So now that we're getting closer to EQ of the range, I'm gonna look to move my break even here to break, or move my stop loss to break even. And then hopefully we can get an expansion here into the range high. It looks like she's sort of struggling here. I like the retest of the high of the C2. Yeah. Looks like she's struggling here a little bit. Nice. And we get a continuation here into the highs. Stop to break even. And then that might be my last trade for the day. Oh, boys. Let's see if they still want to defend this order block. That would suck. But it does happen, actually, pretty often. Order block still pending here, still valid. Let's see if they continue this into the highs. There she goes. 10, 20. Kind of consolidating here. This would have been nasty, nasty, nasty. This is what the opens have been like recently. Where's the range high? That's the range high. Unfortunate that we got stop break even here. Basically ticked out or wicked out of the position. See if it gets to range high. This is why sometimes in backtesting, I'm not a huge fan of moving to break even because I feel like it kind of skews with the data. I feel like it does sometimes really skew the data. Don't know if my brain is making it up, but I feel like NQ has been hunting break even trades. Yeah. And there she is. Range high has been complete. So yeah, unfortunately on some of these, I feel like the break-even data does definitely skew it. So I think I just need to remove them overall. Let's see, let's move on to the next. So we've got a range high, range low here. Same exact setup, so we're just looking for the same thing. We're looking for either a hunt to the high or the low. And then the reason why I'm showing you guys something so simple is because when something is simple, you can then look to obviously add multiple different things to make it a little bit more complex and easier to trade. So let's see if we get a nice little C3 here. Okay, so we do have a C3. Candle that swept, right? Premium market, which I do like. So I want to see if we can get a nice little short position here into the range low. Stop above that high. And then target the range low. Come in here, do 5, sell 5. So we got tagged in there. And what a beauty. No. There we go. That would have been crazy this year. Okay, so perfect. Again, it's the same exact model as the previous one, right? Range high, range low, 15-minute swing. You can see that here. We confirm this 15-minute C3 or the C2, right? Closure, 9:30, 9:45, 10 o'clock. The candle that pierced the high is this one here. So this is going to be our bearish order block. So as soon as you get a closure, you can either enter off the body or the low. So I had the limit based off the low, came back, retest, entry, drop, and an absolute beauty of a trade. Pretty simple, right? And so the reason why I've only added 3 steps is because the reason why I keep it so simple is because you start adding things. Like when you start backtesting, you want to keep it simple. And then systematically, you go ahead and you start improving things. So now for the next one, instead of it being the first 3 steps that I showed you, I'm also going to be adding premium and discount. So in this particular case, you can see that if we grab that high, that low, we actually retested premium of the marketplace and then saw lower. So as you start adding more and more things, you start refining, right? You don't want to start with a complicated model at first. You want to start with something very simple, with a very, very simple checklist that you then look to add small little things to refine. So I think we're at, let me see, how many trades have we taken? on this model, let me actually check NQ right now if it's doing anything. No. So NQ is actually not doing shit right now. So I would much rather. So we've taken number of orders, closed positions, 130 trades on this model. So we are just 170 more trades, and then that brings us to 300 trades, which is what I want to get to. We'll do it all today. No, I'm just kidding. Any questions so far? I feel like this is really straightforward. Okay, so range high taken there. Do we get a 15-minute C2? No, we don't. So no trade here. Let's see if we get a 15-minute C2 here. No 15-minute C2 above the range. Okay, we have a 15-minute C2 here. Above the range as well. Confirmed finally at 10:02. Do we have a closure below that candle's low? Yes, we do. So I'm gonna look to short here with a stop loss above the high. Could you briefly re-explain the model? What's the win percent like so far for you? So far, let me actually pull the report after this. Give me 1 second. So this might actually be a banger if we don't get stopped instantly. It'd be hilarious. As order flow remains bullish, but the model is here. It's presented itself, and I like it. So let's see. Can we get a nice little impulse here to the downside? Where is the mid-range of the... There you go. Midpoint of the range. Really struggling to see some downside here, which I'm not a big fan of. $10.29, $10.30 here. Nice. Let's see if we can manage to get back down into the midpoint of the range. This is a whole day type of trade, it looks like. Consolidating here, 11 o'clock. Starting to make an open high, low, and close, which I'm not a big fan of, but it's okay. See if we get a redistribution here into the lows. I want to see us just absolutely die below these lows. If possible. And looks like we might get stopped out on this one, boys. Yeah, stopped out. Hey, good trade. The model was there, it presented itself. It took a little bit longer than I would have liked it to. But if we go to, okay, so the win percentage on this one, 49.57%, and then the day win is 63.38, but the average win to loss ratio is 3.13. Yeah, that's what that looks like. 58 winning trades, 10 break evens, and then 59 losers. Profit factor 3.07, and then 127 total trades. Do you demand S&T on your C2? I do not, no. I don't really use S&T. I use it as an extra confluence if it shows up, but yeah, I don't really use it that much. Nice. So yeah, roughly a 50% win rate, but the average win to loss ratio is 3.13 or 3.17, which is really, really good, right? Like that just means my winners are really, really good, really large. But let's go ahead and move on towards the start of the New York session of the next session. But ideally, I want to catch my entry between 9 and 11. Okay, so there's the range high. All right. We're in a premium market. Let's see if we get a candle. Let's see if we get a C2 on the 15. Okay, so we do have a C2 on the 15. And then this one kind of looks like a little bit of a clusterfuck. Can we get back into the high? This is ideally what this would look like. But I don't know if I'd get tagged in on this one here with the stop above the high. And then look to target the range low. So I want to see if we can actually get tagged here. What's up, Kaz? Well, 3-second time frame. Did I have that there? Oh, yeah. Yeah. So 9:55, what is it, Monday? And it looks like we might actually not get tagged. And I don't think I want a part of this, to be honest. I don't think I want a part of this anymore. Well, let's see. God, wow, this is moving slow. What is this, like a bank holiday? Jeez. What's up, Trent Scalps? How are you, brother? So unfortunately, I do think we take out the range low. Okay, so no entry from 9 to 11, so I'm just going to skip this session. What's up, Miles? How are you, brother? I'm just going to skip that session. I do think we still get to the range low, so. Okay, yeah, it was a bank holiday. I figured. Okay, moving on to the start of the New York session here. Next one. So let's see, 15-minute chart looks good. It's primed for higher, which I'm not a big fan of. So what I would like to see here is actually preferably a sweep of the low for us to continue higher. Let me actually grab this indicator and then copy and paste it. What are you trading? I saw INQ at 14K, almost died. Brother, we're just backtesting right now because current price action is not doing shit. So, okay, actually we have a C2. We have a C2 candle that's swept. Let's see if we can get a nice little short position here. Stop below the high and then target the midpoint of the range. Again, I am kind of going against the grain here, so I'm just going to go ahead and do smaller size. No, you're fucking lying. What are these chart colors? Oh, it's just a back testing, man. And unfortunately, I think we're going to get to our target here without tagging us in. So I'm telling you, yep, that's our entry, or our target. Unfortunate, boys. Unfortunate. This would have been such a beautiful trade. It just decided to dump there at 10:30. But we had the right idea, right? 15-minute swing above in a premium market, range high, looking to target either midpoint of the range or range low. And so the trend kind of continues here. We're going to move on to the next day. And again, can you please explain the model? Yeah, I got you, brother. So pretty much what we're looking for is you're just looking to set the range from 5 to 9. Again, I don't coin this. I didn't make it up. It's just from 5 to 9. That's the range. Like you just grab the range from 5 to 9, and then you mark out the high and the low. That's it. And so what you look for is a sweep of the high, right? Either the high or a sweep of the low. And then once price goes to that high or to that low, you go on a 15-minute chart, and then you look to confirm a C2 above the high or below the low. So let's see if we get a C2 here. So I can give you guys a good example. So, okay. No C2 here, 9:30 coming up. Okay, so there's a sweep of the high, right? Which means, and we swept the previous 15-minute high. For us to confirm a C2, we need to close below this candle's high. But now we have a double ranged. A C2 is basically the second candle in a swing. So like right here, you see 1, 2, and 3. I'm basing this on a 3-range swing, or a three candle swing. So you have candle number 1, right? You have candle number 2, that sweeps out the previous candle's low. And then candle number 3 is the candle that seeks the high or a distribution. What's up, HM? How are you? And so in this particular case, I want to see if we can get a C2 here. So there's, okay, so now we're starting to, unfortunately, we were unfortunately not able to catch the order block up here because technically the order block would have been all the way up here and that wouldn't have got us tagged in. So now what I'm going to look for is a closure above this candle's low. And as soon as we get a closure above that candle's low, that confirms our C2. Perfect. I mark out the candle that pierced the low. Stop is at that low. Target the range high. I'm going to do 10 contracts here because I like the way that this is moving. That's us tagged in. Let's see if we get a continuation, and we don't. We get stopped out, unfortunately. And that's that. That's pretty much the model, boys. Hopefully that made sense. This is just absolutely dumping. But yeah, range low, range high, 15-minute C2, and then a continuation. I'm willing to try this again, actually, if we get a closure above that candle's high. I still don't understand C2. Can you break it down? So, look. Here you can see we have 2 candles, right? Three candles. Actually, how do I... So I would enter after an M1 close above the high. C2 is basically when one candle closes within the range of the previous candle. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So look at these 3 candles. You can see that this candle swept this candle's high, right? And then it closed back below this candle's high. If it had closed above here, it would not have confirmed a swing. Because think about it. What is a swing? A swing is this. It's a formation of 3 candles. A formation of 3 candles, right? So you have a candle where it has a lower low to the upside. This is to the upside, right? This is a candle that has a low. Then you have a lower low, or sorry, a higher low, a lower low, and a higher low. That is a swing formation. It's like that. So you're looking for a swing to be formed. All I'm doing is T is naming the candles. So the first candle was obviously C1, then C2, and then C3. That's all I'm doing. I'm just naming the candles in a swing. So candle 1 sets the range, candle 2 sweeps the range, and then candle 3 distributes in the direction of the closure. So for example, here we saw that C2 swept the first candle's high, closed below, and then the third candle actually distributes in the direction of the closure. So we had a bearish closure here, and then this candle looks to distribute in the direction of this candle's close. So here I'm looking for the same thing, right? We're below the range. We swept out an old low. We have a candle, and so at 11 o'clock, you can see that now we actually have a candle 3. Now we've confirmed it because why? This candle swept out this candle's low. It failed to close below it. Now we have the third candle that is likely to distribute to the upside here. So let's see if we actually manage to get a distribution to the upside. And then if not, this will be the last trade for this particular day. And it looks like we might just be wrong on our overall draw. Let's see. Nice push here towards the end. Nice. The order block is still holding strong. Got it now? Yeah. And so here I'm going to look to target midpoint of this range. What time is it? Lunchtime? Jesus. about to be 2:30. Yeah, I'm just going to look to close this at 1 hour because obviously the market's closed. So we closed that nearly around, like 1 hour-ish. Okay, moving on. Chart of the New York. So here we have the range high, range low, and then we're just going to look for the same exact thing that we've been looking for. So either a sweep of the high or the low. Preferably here, I would like to see a sweep of the low. Okay, we have a sweep of the low there, and then 952. So now we have to confirm a C3 or a C2. Sorry. Okay, now we've confirmed a C. What's it called? Now we've confirmed a C3. So where is that candle pierced? That candle pierced. Okay, so I need to see a closure above theirs, which I did. Now I need to see a retrace back all the way down here. And then I'm going to look to enter a long position off this order block. Then I'm going to target the high. Set my limit. See if we manage to actually get into the low. Sometimes that means entry in C2. I draw the line from the low of C1, extend it right when C2 opens. I want to see it sweep and form an SMT. That works as well, yeah. So let's see if we get tagged in here at the C. Oh, you're lying. You're lying. You're lying. You're actually lying. Even in back testing, bro. That's fucking crazy. They did me so dirty. I would say the discretion lies in where potentially you'd want to see a reversal from. A lot of the times I might skip out on a trade if I see that the previous sessions are consolidated, but this is 100%, this can be 100% automated. I don't know what the stats would be. I need to obviously look into that. But the reason why I like manual backtesting is because of the fact that, obviously I'm still, let's see if it still plays. I'm looking to play this again. The reason why I like manual backtesting is because A, it obviously gives you confidence in your strategy, and then B, it helps you understand it more, obviously. And you get more chart time, right? Like NQ acts a specific way. It has its own characteristics. It almost has like its own personality to it. So let's see. I'm actually still willing to give this a shot. Either I get completely fucked on it, or we see a nice little reject off of it. And then look to target. Yeah, perfect. Nice. Okay. Let's see if we get into the highs here. We'll look to target the old high because there's absolutely no reason for us to not target that high if it starts to get above that previous high. And sometimes what I like to do is if I notice that we're consolidating, right? I don't want to get too greedy, but what I like to do is that if I manage to catch an entry within a consolidation, I like to start trailing my stop, right? And so typically what happens after a consolidation is that you see an expansion. So what I'm expecting above this high is a really nice little pop. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and move trail my stop to break even. And once if we are able to get above that old high and manage to get a pop, then I'd like to trail. But let's see if it actually gives us a continuation or we're just going to get fucked on this consolidation. Okay, so there's that pop, right? That was our original target. So now I want to see a 15-minute closure above that high. If we manage to, okay, another nice little 15-minute closure above that high. So now I'm going to just look to continuously trail this. So now we're at this high. So now I can potentially squeeze out a little bit more than I would have liked to. and then just seek continuations or look to trail into the highs here. And there's my stop. And I managed to squeeze out a couple more points than I would have liked to. And again, it's the same exact model, right? You have a range low, right? Range low, sweep of the range low, previous 50-minute low taken. You now have a C3 confirmed, right? And then you just basically zoom in and then you ask yourself, what are the candles that were responsible for sweeping out this low? And the answer is very simple, right? It was these three. You set your limit entry on the opening price for the high, and then you just let that thing fucking go. Moving on. Start of the New York session, New York time. Next one. Same thing, same exact thing. Like, it's just repetition at this point, honestly. We're just getting the reps in, right? So range high, range low. Waiting to see what 930 does. Did we sweep out that low? No, I don't think we did. In a lot of cases, though, where S&T is useful, is you will see that ES actually manages to sweep out that low. So if I head over to ES, I wouldn't be shocked. Hold on. I would not be shocked to see that it swept out that range. So candles. So did it sweep out the range low? Yeah, it did. So here we have actually a divergence with wait. No, it did not. Okay, sweet. So there's no divergence there. So we haven't swept any side of the range high or the range low. So I'm not looking to partake in any trades at this moment in time. Still nothing. I would actually hate to be in real time. Still nothing here, so no trades taken yet. You can see that we failed to take both highs and both lows, or both the high and the low. Okay, so here we actually have a sweep of the high. Let's see if we get a C2 above this candle's high. If we manage to get a C2 confirmed, then I'll look to take the redistribution. Okay, so there we have a C2. This particular short, I'm not a huge fan of. So I guess the sizing does come, some sort of discretion. So I'm just going to look to take a short position here because we already have the candle closure. And then I'm going to look to target the midpoint of the range, which honestly does seem a little outrageous, but whatever. And then I'm going to look to reduce my size because I know that we're kind of fighting against the grain here, right? Okay, so there we go. Might get stopped. Yeah, I'm glad I reduced my size. So again, the size can be sort of discretionary, which may not always be good. But typically I know that if we're getting strong closures above the range, we might look for a continuation, but I'm still willing to take the trade. The only thing is I'm just going to look to size down, so my losses aren't as big. So start of the New York session. Again, boys, just getting those fucking reps in, to be honest. Just getting the reps in. Getting really, really confident here with the idea. Okay, so here we actually have something that I do like. Let's see if we get a C2. Okay, here we have a C2 above the range as well. So I'm going to look to potentially grab a short here. Regular size, C2, closure above that high, stop above the high. And then I'm going to look to target the range low. Let's see if we get a nice little continuation here to the downside. And we got stopped out there at 930. Let's see if we manage to get another C2. Looks like it might hit the range low before we actually manage to get an entry here. Okay, so now we have a new C2. Let's see if we get a retrace back into the high and see if we can short this, or if it just wants to completely die. Unfortunate on this one. This would have been a really nice play. We had a good read, but we did get stopped there at 9:30. Okay, there is the range low, which I do like to see. Previous 30-minute low as well. Again, boys, just getting these reps in, right? Same exact thing as always. So now I'm going to look to confirm the C2 here on this one. 10:05, 10:06, 10:10. Okay, perfect. So now, same exact thing. You guys know exactly what I'm looking for. 5. Oh my Lord. That was one spooky ass candle. Okay, perfect. Let's see if we get a continuation into the highs. I'm going to look to aggressively secure 2R if we get the chance to do so. $10:57, 11 a.m. open coming up. I want to see a strong move to the upside here. I'm going to go ahead and protect myself. It's really, really struggling here to see some upside. So I wanted to go ahead and move my stop to break even, and I think this might be a break even trade here. Let's see. What the fuck is this doing? Imagine being in this all day. That'd be nice. There's 3 p.m. This is actually hilarious. All this just to get stopped break even. Jesus. Nope, there's still hope. 2 p.m. Come on. Come on. Act accordingly. Nice. I'm going to look to secure 2R here. Come on. I won't be a dick for a tick. I'll move to the 872s. And now it's just a 50-50 from here, to be honest. Stop or... Oh, actually, market's closed. So I'm going to look to close this position here. Beautiful trade. closed in near the highs. So markets closed there. And that was around 3.35R. That was quite a ride. Yeah, that was painful. So you can see that my winners are pretty big. The win rate is still 50%, 49.59 basically. We took, I think, 13 trades this session. So if you go over to the session results, you'll see that, yeah, 3.16 average win to loss ratio. So our winners are still really big. I do have to fix that discretion when it comes to trading the size properly. But yeah. What do you, any questions or thoughts before I head out? Because guys, like, NQ is not doing shit. ES is not doing shit either. Let me actually switch back over to the live charts so I can show you guys. So in this particular case, for backtesting, how important do you think it is to avoid discretion? I would say don't try to avoid it, but if you can, somehow track it. I think there's always a way to track some sort of discretion. Like there's always a way to make a flow chart out of your discretion, in my opinion. It doesn't mean that you have to go 100% mechanical, but like just make notes of the discretion that you're, like what is it exactly that you're making discretionary, and then make a flow chart for it, because all the decisions in trading can be tracked. But yeah, any questions so far? I mean, did you guys like that, or what did you guys think? Okay, nice. Yeah. Teach me, baby. This is low-key like super informative. Yeah. Thanks. What's up, Alex? What's up, Leonid? Oh, I already said what's up. This is low-key like a double-edged. Is that not like a double-edged compliment? Always good to see how people set up trades. Is that not a double-edged compliment? Anyways. Yeah, so in this particular case, you can see that NQ actually failed to sweep out the high, failed to sweep out the low. So there's like actually just nothing for me to do here. Am I leaning towards lower? Yeah, because overall I'm on a higher time frame. We actually have a C2 here. And that's about it. So you'd be looking for this low. But because of the fact that NQ actually failed to sweep out the high and the low, there's just absolutely nothing for me to do. Anyways, boys, I'm gonna hop off here. I know that production, are you gonna say something? What's up? No worries. No worries. I thought you were gonna say something. Anyways, yeah, boys, I'm gonna hop off here. I appreciate you all very much. Make sure to subscribe, make sure to like. We're at 4K. Let's try to get a 5K. And then for anything, for all futures codes, make sure to use code thelab. Head over to propfirm.compare and create your account and get those points, boys. Anyways, I appreciate all of you so much. Any questions, let me know. Peace.